कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, निताई गौ सुंदर की, पतित पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Studying from Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, entitled as Dhruva Maharaja's Leaves Home. Text number 43. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Isnatvanu savanam tasmin kalindya salile sive कृत्वोचितानि निवसन् आत्मनः कल्पितासनः। स्नात्वनानुसवनं तस्मिन् कालिन्द्या सलिले शिवे कृत्वोचितानि निवसनात्मनः कल्पितासनः। स्नात्वानुसवनं तस्मिन् कालिन्द्या सलिले शिवे कृत्वोचितानि निवसन् आत्मनः कल्पितासनः। Translation. Narad Muni instructed, you can repeat, Narad Muni instructed, my dear boy, in the waters of the Yamuna river, which is known as Kalindi, you should take 3 baths daily, because the water is very auspicious, sacred and clear. After bathing, you should perform the necessary regulative principles for Ashtanga Yoga, and then sit down on your asana, sitting place, in a calm and a quiet position. Narad Muni instructed, my dear boy, in the water of Yamuna river, which is known as Kalindi, you should take 3 baths daily, because the water is very auspicious, sacred and clear. After bathing, you should perform the necessary regulative principles for Ashtanga Yoga, and then sit down on your asana in a calm and quiet position. Purport. It appears from this statement that Dhruva Maharaja had already been instructed how to practice the 8-fold yoga system, which is known as Ashtanga Yoga. This system is explained in our Bhagavad Gita as it is in the chapter entitled Sankhya Yoga 6.11, 12 and 13, 14. It is understood that in Ashtanga Yoga one practices settling the mind and then concentrating it on the form of Lord Vishnu, as will be described in the following verses. It is clearly stated here that the Ashtanga Yoga is not a bodily gymnastic exercise but a practice to concentrate the mind on the form of Vishnu. Before sitting on his asana, which is also described in Bhagavad Gita, one has to cleanse himself very nicely in clear and or sacred water thrice daily. The water of the Yamuna is naturally very clear and pure, and thus if anyone bathes there 3 times, undoubtedly he will be very greatly purified externally. Narad Muni therefore instructed Dhruva Maharaja to go to the bank of Yamuna and thus become externally purified. This is a part of gradual process of practicing mystic yoga. Om Tatsat Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunathan Ditam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Ditamscha. Hare Krishna. Darshan will be open shortly. It's closed for offering breakfast to the Lord. So it'll take almost 25 to 30 minutes. Just now we closed it. We are studying from Srimad Bhagavatam, a very interesting description about Dhruva Maharaja. All of you have heard about Dhruva Maharaj? Dhruva. Dhruv. No, Prahalad and Hiranyakashipu. Dhruva Maharaj was just 6 years old boy and he got to see Lord Narayana within 6 months of time. So it's like we have come to see the Lord. The Lord is present here in Archa Vigraha form. Here specifically here Lord is Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Devi in Daru Brahman, wooden form of the Lord. This is called Archa incarnation. The Lord is kindly, mercifully appeared in the form of Vigraha so that we can see Him. So we know that God is everywhere. He is present even in an atom. Andantasta Paramanu Chayantarastham, and also it's situated in everyone's heart. But we are not able to see His presence or feel His presence or see Him. Right or not? So, Lord kindly manifest Himself in Archa Vigraha form where we can see Him. Not only we can see Him, we can also render some service to Him and He reciprocates with us. Like you have come, there are so many devotees, they visit here and they pray to the Lord and their prayers are fulfilled or they get some sort of reciprocation and they keep coming again. So the Lord is incarnated at Archa Vigraha. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Brajendra Nandana. So it's not just a statue, the Lord Himself is present here in Archa Vigraha form. And there are so many Archa in India. We will find the devotees, visitors had a very personal reciprocation. There is a Archa Vigraha in earlier this Archa Vigraha were there in Vrindavan. Later they moved near Odisha, near Jagannath Puri, called Sakshi Gopal. Sakshi Gopal deities actually witnessed a marriage of a Brahmana. There's an interesting story that the two Brahmanas, one old and another one young, they traveled from their village to Vrindavan. Young Brahmana helped the old Brahmana because he was little weak, so he helped him throughout his journey and his stay in Vrindavan. So the elderly Brahmana was very pleased with him, and also this elderly Brahmana was very rich and the other Brahmana was very poor. So this elderly Brahmana said, no, I would like to give you something, I'll give you my daughter in marriage. So this, actually this all happening in this temple where Gopal deities is there. So this young Brahmana said, no, I am not fit for your daughter, you're so rich and I'm so poor. This is not a good match and nobody will accept, especially your family members, they will never accept this. So forget this, I am not doing any, I like to serve you and you're like my father. So it's not just, no need to give anything. You just give your blessings. But this elderly Brahmana insisted, no, I've said here in this temple that I will give you my daughter in marriage. And Gopal is Sakshi, witness. So this young Brahmana said, okay, if you're so much strongly feeling, I don't have any objection. But Gopal is Sakshi that you have given. So they went, and this Brahmana went back to his house, and as soon as he reached house, he saw the mood of his wife and then sons, so he was afraid also telling, but he revealed that, so like this I have promised the Brahmana, that Brahmana, that our daughter will be given to marriage to him. This everybody got very furious, how you can say like this? And the wife was completely against, and son was completely against, dead against. And he said that you don't worry about this, we will take care. We can never give our sister to that person. And then after some time, the other Brahmana came back to ask, you have already given the word in the Vrindavan, in the temple of Gopal. So now it is the time, you are not saying anything, so I have come. This came him to remind. But he called him and his son came. And his son just saw him and then started chastising him that how can you talk all these things, you are hallucinating, so you get out from here. And then actually he called the other younger Brahmana, called village people and had a panchayat. So several elderly people get together and they discuss. And then he said, see, this happened in the Vrindavan and Gopal is Sakshi. So immediately this his brother, the son of elderly Brahmana, caught hold of this. Okay, you're saying Gopal is Sakshi, no? So you go and get the Gopal. If Gopal comes and says that this has happened, then we will give our sister to you. No problem. So he just played a trick. He thought that, no, the deities is like a statue. He doesn't have faith. So how deities are going to come and speak? So he said it's not going to happen anyway. This is good opportunity. So very smartly he just pushed the things down. This Brahmana had a very strong faith, and he again went back to Vrindavan and he went to the temple of Gopalji. And then he very intensely prayed. This is not for any personal achievement that I have to get married to his daughter, just because to save the elderly Brahmana, so that his words doesn't become false. He has said this in your temple and you have witnessed. So now since you have witnessed it, you must come and say this. Then deities were hearing this and they actually started speaking to the Brahmana. He said, see, I am only deities, how can I walk? Because this Brahmana was saying, you should come with me. He's saying, how can I walk? Then immediately this younger Brahmana replied, okay, you are the deities, and if you can walk, if you can talk, then you can walk also. If you can talk, then you can walk also. Then deities were actually speechless. They were actually caught by this Brahmana, and he said, okay, so I will come with you, but there is a condition that I will walk behind you and you should not turn behind and see whether I am coming or not. So this Brahmana said, okay, I can understand that you have put this condition, but how I will know you are coming? You may not come and all the way I will go back to Vrindavan and see that you are not here. So the deities replied, no, don't worry, my mother has given me a small pile in my feet, and when I walk, it will make sound, so you will hear it. Then they said, then all right. Then they started walking, the young Brahmana started walking, and behind this deities were walking, Gopal deities, huge deities. They were walking, and this Brahmana was hearing the noise, and hearing the sweet sound from the ankle boles of in the lotus feet of the Lord, and he kept walking from Vrindavan to Puri. And then he kept hearing the sound, but at one point of time near his village, the sound stopped. And then he became very curious why the sound has stopped, and he turned behind and he saw the deities are standing there. And the deity said, since now you have turned back, I am not going to go further. I will stand here and you can call all the villagers. So this person was very excited. Okay, you have come so far, there is no problem. It's just border of my village. I'll get everybody here. And then he rushed towards the village and he called the people and he told Brahmana, you see, you had told that Gopal is witness and Gopal himself have come. Now you come and see. So all the village people came and they saw the huge deities. And as soon as this Brahmana, also elderly Brahmana, see the deities, they walked and came. He immediately fell on the lotus feet, did Dandavat Pranam to the deities, and started shedding tears. He said whatever this Brahmana is saying is true. Actually, I promised in front of the deities. So it was now proved in front of whole village. And so these deities are there in near Jagannath Puri. It's called Sakshi Gopal. So still lots of people go and pray there. There are so many deities, hundreds of deities. You can see so many pastimes of the Lord. In Udupi we can go and see the deities have turned back. They were earlier seeing towards east, now they are seeing towards the west, because there was one devotee was not allowed to take darshan of the Lord, and he was standing behind the temple. So to give their darshan, the deities turned back and the wall behind was actually torn apart, and he was able to take the darshan of the Lord. Udupi Krishna. That so many pastimes of the Lord is there. So here we see that Dhruva Maharaja, just 6 years old boy, and he is able to see the Lord just within 6 months of time, which is even impossible for great mystic yogis. For life after life they perform austerities to see the Lord. It is very, very difficult. But how this 6 years old boy was very shortly able to see the Lord. This is what happened, that Dhruva Maharaja was a son of King Uttanapad. Uttanapad had two wives, Suniti and Suruchi. So Suruchi was younger wife and Suniti was elder wife. And Dhruva Maharaja was born of Suniti, elder queen. And once Uttanapad was sitting on his throne, and his another son from Suruchi was sitting on the lap. Suruchi was standing nearby, and Dhruva Maharaja came and he saw that Uttam, his son, Uttanapad's son, and his brother, Dhruva Maharaja's brother's name was Uttam. He is sitting on the lap of father. So he also felt, I should also sit on the other lap. And he just was trying to climb up to the lap of his father Uttanapad, King Uttanapad, very powerful king. And his mother Suruchi saw this and he chastised Dhruva Maharaja, that what is this? You forget to sit lap of your father. In this life is not possible. Next life, when you are born from my womb, you can sit. And she is very strongly said this to Dhruva Maharaja. And King Uttanapad, somehow not to agitate his wife, he did not speak anything, just kept quiet. And Dhruva Maharaja, being born in a Kshatriya family, as soon as he heard this, he became very angry, very disturbed. It mentioned that he started, out of anger, started crying, and he just ran towards his mother Suniti. And Suniti also got to know about this news from other maid servants, and she was also into distress. And Dhruva Maharaja went and explained this to Suniti, and Suniti said, what can I say? Your father does not even consider me fit to be like his maid servant. So whatever your stepmother is telling is actually correct. So we are very unfortunate. In fact, if at all you want to sit on the lap of your father, then you should go and worship Narayana. By the blessings of Lord Narayana, anything is possible. This was heard by Dhruva Maharaja. This is what he wanted. Then he said, where I will find Narayana? He asked his mother. He said that I heard that great sages go to the forest and then there they perform austerities, and then there they are able to see Lord Narayana. This young boy, how much she can tell, and she also didn't know much. So she directed to Dhruva Maharaja towards the forest. Dhruva Maharaja was very determined that I will find out Narayana and I will get better position than my father's father. Uttanpad's father was Swambhu Manu and his father was Lord Brahma. He said that I want better position than my great grandfather. And he went into forest searching about Narayana. And he has heard about from her mother that some sages they have seen Lord Narayana. So he was thinking, okay, if I meet some sage, then I will ask, then how and where I can find Narayana, and when I meet Narayana, I will get this. So very determined. So it is mentioned that Dhruva Maharaj was so sincere. Just his 6 years old boy, he left the palace and went towards the forest, and Lord sitting inside the heart immediately understood the sincerity, seen the sincerity of Dhruva Maharaj, inspired Narada Muni to go and meet him. Narada Muni is always singing the names of the Lord, playing his musical instrument, and he instantly appeared there to Dhruva Maharaja. And Dhruva Maharaja was very happy to see Narada Muni, because he knew that Narada Muni is a great sage and he can help me to find out Narayana. So immediately he paid his obeisances to Narada Muni and inquired that I want to find Narayana, can you help me? Then Narada Muni started testing Dhruva Maharaja. He's just 6 years old boy. So Narada Muni was testing whether he will be able to do what I say. So Narada Muni told him various things. He said, why you are coming to the forest, a small boy, 6 years old boy? This is not time to come to the forest and all. You should go and play with your friends. This is not time to come to forest and do meditation and all. This is not possible. And you are a small boy, why you are taking your mother's words so seriously? For the small children, there is nothing like prestige, honor and dishonor. You should not take it so seriously. And when you have become old, you will get a proper opportunity, then you should come to forest and do. It's like people say, why to do bhakti now, when become old we will do. So Narada Muni said these various things just to test Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was very determined to see Lord Narayana and get his desires fulfilled, get a better position than his great grandfather Lord Brahma. So there is no better position actually in the universe than Lord Brahma, because he is the creator. He is the chief of all the devas, and there is no better position available for anybody. So Narada Muni is telling to Dhruva Maharaj, see, what is your childish desire is actually impossible, but still the Lord he can do anything. For Lord is nothing impossible. He can do anything and everything. So if you are able to please the Lord can grant you which is impossible things. Dhruva Maharaj actually told to Lord Narada Muni that, see, I am determined to see Lord Narayana, and I know you can help me, so I request that you please help me to see the Narayana. I am not going to go back to home. Otherwise, just leave it. Don't discourage me. I am very determined to see Lord Narayana. So Dhruva Maharaj he didn't fall for Narada Muni's other instructions, which he was testing. Narada Muni was testing Dhruva Maharaja. He said, I am going to see Lord Narayana. If you can help me, please help me. Narada Muni became very pleased with Dhruva Maharaja, because he saw this is a 6 years old boy and is so determined to see Lord Narayana. We see whenever we are going for some spiritual activities and some small excuse comes, we immediately take it. Okay, we'll see you next time. We give last priority to these things. But Dhruva Maharaj is very determined. For all these things which Narad Muni told him, all make sense. A small boy, why you have to you go play and do all these things, very much makes sense. But then Dhruva Maharaj was so much determined that he wanted to see Lord Narayana, and Narad Muni became very pleased. In fact, it's mentioned that he started glorifying the Kshatriya race. He said that when Kshatriya race is so glorified that a small boy born in this race is so much determined to achieve his goal. So Narad Muni here then explaining him that how to see Lord Narayana. This happened in Sat Yuga. So he's explaining the process of meditation, Ashtanga Yoga. So we generally see when we talk about meditation, we think about Ashtanga Yoga. So here it is explained about Ashtanga Yoga. So the purpose of Ashtanga Yoga, there is 8 limbs of yogas. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. Like that there are 8 limbs. Therefore it is called Ashtanga Yoga. So starting with rules and regulations. So this purpose of Ashtanga Yoga is to control one's mind and senses and focus it on the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the purpose of the meditation. Meditation is not done for getting a good health or some other ulterior motives. The purpose of the meditation is to meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. So here Narad Muni is explaining, and it starts with controlling the senses, controlling the senses and mind. It is not some gymnastic exercise. It is a process to connect with the Lord. Therefore it is called yoga. Yoga means, it's coming from the Sanskrit root word yuja, that means connection or addition. Once the process by which we add or connect ourselves with the Supreme is called yoga. So this is Ashtanga Yoga. Narad Muni is explaining to Dhruva Maharaj. So he is saying that you should go to Yamuna, the bank of Yamuna, and there you should take thrice bath, and then you should perform this Yama, Niyama, Asana, and you should meditate on the Lord. This is what he is explaining. And we see that Dhruva Maharaja will exactly follow what Narad Muni has said, and he became so deeply absorbed. He did so well that within 6 months the Lord appeared. We will see that how this is severe austerity performed by Dhruva Maharaja. He was step by step his severity of austerity increased, and he stopped breathing. Earlier he was just drinking water. He stopped drinking water. Also he was eating leaves, then he started eating dry leaves. That also he started eating after 3 days, 6 days, 9 days, and then he stopped actually breathing. He fully controlled his breathing, when he fully controlled his breathing, then it's mentioned that because of that the whole universal breathing process was choked, and all the devas, they became very disturbed, and they approached Lord Narayana. Then Lord Narayana immediately appeared on the scene, and Dhruva Maharaja, actually he was meditating on the Lord, and Lord is situated inside heart, so he was able to see the Lord within himself as Paramatma, and he was meditating very deeply on that, and he has stopped breathing, and suddenly he sees that the Lord disappears from his meditation, and then he becomes very disturbed. What happened? That I'm not able to see the Lord anymore. Then he opens his eyes, and as soon as he is opening his eyes, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Nita Gaur Sundar ki jai. So as soon as he opens his eyes, there he sees that the Lord of his heart is present in front of him, as like you can see Lord Jagannath. This is a exact timing. Dhruva Maharaja opens his eyes and he sees that Lord Narayana is there in front of him. As soon as he sees Lord Narayana, he jumps out of his sitting and he just fall Dandavat Pranam, and it's mentioned that he starts shedding the tear. He becomes so happy and he does not know what to do, but he wants to do something, and he just starts kissing the lotus feet of the Lord, and becomes so extremely happy. And the Lord is also very satisfied with seeing Dhruva Maharaja. And he said that Dhruva Maharaja wants to glorify the Lord, but being just small 5 years old boy, he does not know, he doesn't have appropriate vocabulary and sufficient understanding about how to glorify the Lord. So the Lord actually takes his conch and touches the forehead of Dhruva Maharaja. As soon as the forehead of Dhruva Maharaja is touched with Lord's conch, transcendental conch, he immediately gets all the capacity, all the quality of nicely praising the Lord, nicely glorifying him in suitable words. The Lord is called Uttama Sloka. So we see Krishna is telling Vedascha sarvair ahamev vedyo vedantikit vedvid eva chaham. So the Lord is situated in one's heart, and from him comes remembrance, forgetfulness and knowledge. And we see here the Lord, same Lord is present in front of Dhruva Maharaja, and Dhruva Maharaja don't know how to glorify him, but the Lord what he does when he is inside the heart of people, now he is doing personally, physically he is doing. He is giving he is empowering Dhruva Maharaj to glorify him suitably, and Dhruva Maharaja starts glorifying. So what he says during his glorification, he says that I just came here for finding out some broken pieces of glass, but now I have found this valuable gems. So my Lord, I do not want anything more. Swamin varam na kitartho asmin. So I am so much obliged that you have personally appeared in front of me. There is nothing more than this. I do not want anything else. I am fully satisfied. So this is what is happening when we worship the Lord. When we perform Bhakti Yoga, this what happens. And why Dhruva Maharaja was so successful within 6 months, he was able to see the Lord, because Narad Muni has instructed him Bhakti Yoga, and it was mixed with Ashtanga Yoga. But the whole thing was Bhakti Yoga, because it was told by Narad Muni. And Dhruva Maharaja very faithfully, sincerely followed Narad Muni, whatever he has said. And we see that because of this power of his worship, he was very quickly purified. And the sign is that his material desire vanquished. So this is the sign of purification, advancement in Krishna consciousness. When we become free from material desires, that means we are advancing in Krishna consciousness. More we have material desires, this more contamination we are. What is this material desires? Material desires to enjoy here in this material world, to get puja, labha, pratishtha. So all material desires. So we see that Dhruva Maharaja, though he wanted greater position than his great grandfather, and he performed so severe austerities, but at the end of his austerity, end of this, when he was supposed to get these things, he is telling, I do not want any of these things. I am very much satisfied just seeing you. There is nothing more than this. So we can see when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we are sincerely chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, also same thing happens to us. When we sincerely chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we become free from material desires. Then we want to actually serve the Lord. This is the prayer, oh my Lord, kindly engage me in your service. And when we chant more nicely, then we develop this service attitude, and we just want to serve the Lord, and we feel satisfaction in doing that. Normal in present situation, whenever our senses are satisfied, we feel happy. Actually, there is no happiness there. It is just an illusion. I was just hearing today morning from Prabhupada, is telling, people say it is my hand, but it is not your hand, it is Krishna's hand. So when this hand is used in your service, will actually become more and more dissatisfied or frustrated. But as soon as we start using the hand, because it belongs to Krishna, and starts using in Krishna's service, then we see that we will become happy. So Dhruva Maharaj, he initially wanted, he had this very strong material desires, but later when he saw the Lord, he was very satisfied just by seeing him. So said that akama sarva kamo va moksha kam udardi tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purusham param. So even we have material desires, or we are free from material desires, or we have topmost material desires of getting liberation, one should worship the Lord Narayana, because at the end one will be completely successful by worshipping the Lord. All our needs will be taken care. Here with Dhruva Maharaja, we see that how just by in 6 months he is able to get what great yogis they don't get in many lifetimes. So here in this purport is mentioned that Narad Muni is prescribing Dhruva Maharaja to take thrice daily bath. So in Krishna consciousness also we see that we take several baths, because this baths keeps us purified externally and internally both. We will be, when we are taking bath, we will be able to properly chant. We will be able to chant better. We will be able to serve the Lord properly. So he is specifically mentioning just take 3 baths daily. And then he is telling that after bathing you should perform the necessary regulative principles for Ashtanga Yoga. And then sit down on your asana in a calm and quiet position. So then he will start chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then he will just keep chanting this and hearing it and thinking about the Lord. And we see that he will very shortly, 6 months he will achieve his goal. So similarly, we are also chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we should be focused. That austerity which Dhruva Maharaja performed is not possible for any of us to do. We are staying in this Kali Yuga and we don't have such determination like Dhruva Maharaja. But that is not required. By mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the process for us has become very simple. One has to just chant the holy name of the Lord and hear it attentively. And some regulative principles, Archana, if we are doing, it becomes even much more simpler. We just take bath and then perform Achmana, and then we engage in chanting the holy name of the Lord. For chanting the holy name of the Lord, for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no rules and regulations. Anywhere one can chant. But the thing is, when we have engaged in the Archana, worshipping the deities, we keep ourselves in mode of goodness, and then it is impetus for us to do chanting. Otherwise, when we start chanting, we'll start falling asleep, or when we chant, we don't feel like to chant. Then we want to do so many other things. So in this way, we are lost. But here, when we mix with Archana, worshipping the Lord, then actually we start doing things more systematically. We start getting up early in the morning, then we start taking bath, and then all these things we start doing systematically. And in this way, when we are in mode of goodness, we develop more taste for holy name, and we become more committed to chant. Therefore, it is said that mixed vidhi, Archana vidhi is very important. Along with chanting the holy name of the Lord. Archana vidhi is not required actually to chant the holy name of the Lord. Holy name of the Lord is sufficient for purifying us. But since we are in such a degraded mode, that we won't continue to chant the holy name of the Lord. It is somehow this process is aided that we perform archana and keep ourselves in goodness and continue chanting the holy name of the Lord for the best result. So here we can similarly see Narad Muni expertly advising Dhruva Maharaj that you chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In between he is also telling you perform this archana, and then he is telling also you do this Ashtanga Yoga, because Dhruva Maharaj is fixed in doing Ashtanga Yoga. The Narad Muni is guiding him how to do things, and we see by his expert guidance and by sincerity follow up of Dhruva Maharaj, he is able to see the Lord very quickly. Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam.